Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Sorry I was a little bit late. Had a little dog issue there where basically some throw up was what was going on. So, yeah, lots of fun. Great way to start the morning. All right, so let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast free library and pops it up there just for you. And if you want to know when I'm going live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I put it up there every week, change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. Also, I have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page. And for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. Not that I haven't said that often enough. That's why I run through that fairly quickly. Man, my camera's having some focus issues there all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Well, Adult Swim has 3 movies in the works. One is Aqua Teen Hunger Force. The other one is Metalocalypse, which already has had movies before. Both of them have had movies before. And the third one is a show that has never had a movie as of yet, The Venture Brothers. That's right, The Venture Brothers is getting its own movie on Adult Swim, thankfully. Because, of course, we know that the series has been canceled. So, yeah, man. And so it's kind of funny, the synopsis for it. They say in the Venture Brothers movie, Doc's latest invention will either bankrupt the Ventures or launch them to new heights as Hank searches for himself, Dean searches for Hank, the Monarch searches for answers, and a mysterious woman from their past threaten to bring their entire world crashing down on them. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I'm actually really fucking jazzed for this. I really, 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 really want to see this. I have not gotten the tears up yet, Raymond. No, I haven't. Shit's been happening. That's all I can say. I haven't had any free time whatsoever. As a matter of fact, right after this, I'm doing my taxes. So yeah, it's one thing after another. So I haven't gotten the tears up as of yet. Yeah. I agree with you, Penn. I still want more seasons of Venture Brothers, but I'll take the movie. I will definitely take the movie. And I know Doc and Jackson had talked about this, like, and I know Apple Crow had mentioned this last night. Way back in season 1, they talked about doing a live-action Venture Brothers movie. I would love to actually see that happen. There's enough weirdness there where you could actually do this as a live action easily and still have it come off really fucking funny. Have James Gunn direct it. James Gunn is one of those people that would actually probably direct something like that. Sorry, I'm drinking my hot chocolate too, so. Oh man. So yeah, that's actually some big news. And also, we've got Kevin Smith's animated series, Masters of the Universe Revelations, and that's going to hit Netflix on July 23rd. We finally got a release date on that. They released some photos or some pictures of the animation that's coming off. And essentially, this is supposed to be a direct sequel to the old 80s series. So it's supposed to take place like right after the 80s series. I don't know how I'm liking the drawings on it, to tell you the truth. It's Orko looks really jacked. That's all I can say. He's sleeveless, has more evil eyes, and then he's like jacked up almost as much as Tila. Tila has arms that are probably about as big as both of my thighs put together. And that's not a good thing. It's just, yeah. You don't think they could pull off a live-action Venture Brothers movie, Raymond? I think they could do it. I think it could be done. I think it'd be done for like $50 million. You wouldn't have to do anything really crazy. Sorry, just really getting into that there. You wouldn't have to do anything really crazy for the Venture Brothers movie. I mean, you could easily do the Monarch flying around. It's easy. The Cocoon is an easy, CGI. Trying to think what else. I mean, the villains really aren't that hard to do either. That they have, the villains. As long as you don't go into the New York villains. Yeah. Stanley says, I'm not in favor of live action Venture Brothers, but what can I do? This one isn't a live action Venture Brothers. They're doing for Adult Swim. It's one of their made for Adult Swim movies. It's an animated movie. So it'll probably take, if they go the traditional route that they have gone, we won't see it until 2025. Yeah. But anyway. So there's a company out there called Big Finish that's been doing audio adventures of Doctor Who shows and stuff like that. And they were getting ready to do one with John Barrowman and David Tennant. Well, that's been canceled. There was no word for the cancellation officially, but unofficially, they think that this may be due to resurfacing of harassment claims against John Barrowman. That came up from one of his co-stars in basically it was a 2014 convention that Noel Clarke, who of course was on one of the shows there, talked about how Barrowman would take out his penis during the production of Doctor Who. It's supposedly to have fun with the colleagues on the set. There's basically supposed to be humor on the set there. And you can understand how that would not be a good thing. But yeah, so supposedly this is, supposedly there was more than that, Pen. That was just what they kind of went into. And so it was exposure and harassment. So no, I'm not a Doctor Who fan, Raymond. I am the last person you want to do a who would actually do it. I just, yeah, Doctor Who is not my thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, John Barrowman. I think I've told this story before. How when G4 was around and they had Attack of the Show. And they used to do Comic-Con weekends where they would just film from Comic-Con live, and they were almost like 24/7. And John Barrowman, they had him guest hosting one time on the floor of Comic-Con, and there was this guy dressed up as Aquaman, basically just wearing a Speedo. And John Barrowman was just like all over him during the show, and you could tell Barrowman was probably a little bit tipsy as well. And it was really funny and really cringy at the same time. And yeah, that was kind of the experiences from what I've heard were happening at Comic-Con with Barrowman at the time, allegedly. So, yeah. Penn says he's talked about that a lot over the years. Very poor behavior on his part, but he apparently thought it was funny. Yeah. Yeah. Be sure to get a Goofy photo in Disney World. I'm not going to Disney World, Mr. Roboto. Disney World is where all the sick people are, all those people that are spreading a disease. Disneyland, on the other hand, we're all wearing masks because it's California. No matter what the CDC says. And I'm not staying anywhere there. Nope. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, the whole John Barrowman thing has shit canned an audio experience, and Doctor Who fans are going to be left out on that one. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Doctor Who fan. I just happened to see this was out there, and I kind of figured that you Doctor Who fans that are out there would be interested in that. What I am interested, though, in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and Free Guy are both going to open exclusively in theaters for the first 45 days. Then after 45 days, they're going to open on their respective streaming platforms. Of course, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will be on Disney Plus, and Free Guy will be on HBO Max. That's where they're going to go. I like that idea. Actually, that's not bad. It's a good compromise. I'm not going to the theater anyway to go and watch these movies. And like I said before, I will pay to see it on streaming if I'm so inclined, or I can wait till it comes out for, on the streaming service for free as part of my regular subscription cost. Either way, I'm not busting down the door to see these things. I don't think it's going to be Disney Premium, Stanley. They haven't really said. I know Black Widow is Disney Premium, so that one is, or Disney Plus Premium. But that one is opening same day in the theaters. So I think that's what they're doing. My guess is it's probably going to be Disney Premium. HBO Max, on the other hand, I think is just going to say, screw it. Here it is. We're kind of like what they did with the Angelina Jolie movie that just released last night on HBO Max, which I haven't watched just because it doesn't really look that interesting. Yeah, usually if you do that Disney Premium, the Disney Plus Premium, you're supposed to get a digital copy that you own forever. As long as you own Disney Plus or you subscribe to Disney Plus, you have access to it, which is kind of stupid because if you have Disney Plus, most likely you're going to have access to it anyway because it'll be in their library. But yeah, so who knows? This one I thought was actually pretty funny and almost makes me want to get cable just for this. Was FXX, which of course is the Fox channel streaming service or cable service. It's their third tier. Has ordered the series Little Demon, which stars Aubrey Plaza as the mother to the Antichrist, who's played by Danny DeVito's real daughter, Lucy DeVito. And of course, Danny DeVito is playing Satan. And mother and daughter are dodging a bunch of basically supernatural horrors that are being thrown their way because he wants the daughter back and everything. And it's supposed to be a comedy, of course, a horror comedy. And I'm actually kind of digging everybody involved in all of this. And I kind of want to see it, to tell you the truth. I didn't know I wanted to see it until I read about it, and I was like, I want to see that. That actually looks good. Raymond says, you think Black Widow will be the last Hollywood movie we'll get on streaming? No. We have until the end of this year. Everything from Warner Brothers is coming out streaming this year. Yeah. Yes, Aubrey Plaza. I really didn't like Aubrey Plaza when I first saw her. I can't remember when it was. It was something way back when. And it wasn't until Legion, when she showed up on Legion, that I was like, huh, okay. And it changed my mind about her. It really did. She is fantastic in Legion. And she kind of pulled a Brad Pitt for, on that, for me anyway. Kind of like what Brad Pitt did in 12 Monkeys, where he just played that really weird, out there kind of guy and subverted what my thoughts were about him acting wise. That's what Aubrey Plaza did with Legion. And it's one, and her paired with Danny DeVito, I'm just like, fuck, man. Raymond says you didn't like her in Scott Pilgrim. No, I didn't like her. I don't know what it was about her. It just, the ennui, the fake ennui that she was putting out there didn't do it for me. And kind of, I don't know why, it made me hostile towards her for some reason. It really did. It's a dumb persona that she portrays. And it was just annoying to me. It really was. And then, like I said, Legion, she actually started acting instead of doing a fake persona kind of shit that she was doing. And That's where it was a bit different. I don't know, Mr. Roboto. You're gonna have to ask him on that one, if he was supposed to be weird or not on that one. Philip says, I also love Aubrey in The Little Hours. I didn't hear about that one. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen everything that she's in, obviously. I still wanted to see Safety Not Guaranteed, which I believe she's in. Yeah. Raymond says, I think she generally is sort of like, I don't know, man. I still say it's a persona that she puts on. I've seen her in interviews and stuff like that, like Conan O'Brien and stuff. And yes, I know she kind of acts like that all the time, but I have a feeling that it's it looks like a persona that she's putting on. It's something that she's doing to distance herself from, from fans, from paparazzi, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's what it looks like to me anyway, which is smart in this day and age of media that we have, and then have your own private life, and that way you can go out, you can do the weird shit or whatever in front of the cameras and stuff like that out in public, but in your private life you can just be yourself, and no one knows any more about that than you need them to. I don't do personas, so unfortunately you get what you see. Yeah. I thought this was actually kind of interesting. So Regina King, of course, the actress Regina King, who was just in HBO's Watchmen series, she's set to direct an adaptation of the Image comic Bitter Root. And if you don't know what Bitter Root is, I didn't either, to tell you the truth. It's supposed to be a comic about, the story is set during the vibrant Harlem Renaissance of 1924, when a fractured family of once great monster hunters faces an unimaginable evil that descends upon New York City. For generations, the Sangres have hunted and cured those infected by supernatural force that feeds off the prejudice of the era, transforming human beings into hideous monsters. With most of the family dead and the surviving Sangres at odds between saving or killing the creatures, they must overcome the wounds of the past in the hopes of thwarting an invasion. Yeah, I'm all for it. It sounds like an interesting premise. I just am surprised that Regina King is actually directing. I didn't know she directed, and I'm looking forward to this one. To tell you the truth, actually having heard the synopsis, read the synopsis, I'm like, that actually looks good. It actually kind of makes me want to read the comic too. So, yeah. Oh, that's right, Philip. I did hear about The Little Hours. I did hear about that one. Raymond says, hey, we all wear our masks. That's why I love this community. Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad people can be themselves here. And yeah. Sounds a little Lovecraft Country, kind of, sort of, Stanley. But I'm all for it. I mean, again, the only one that's been out there has been the Lovecraft Country. That's had that kind of world. So bringing another one in like that isn't that bad of an idea. Yeah. What else do I have here? Oh, yeah. September 24th, Venom II, Let There Be Carnage comes to theaters. They released a trailer, of course, and the trailer's out there. If you go to my Facebook page, you can actually watch it up there too, or you can just search for it. It's up to you. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's the first trailer. The first movie wasn't horrible, and it wasn't great either. It was kind of right in the middle. It was kind of in between, and I like Tom Hardy. It sounds like, well, it looks like in this one that he also voices Venom too, by the way. They just alter his voice and everything. It looks like he's having a lot more fun voicing Venom this time around. And I'm digging that, honestly. Excuse me. Stanley Twill says, does not have to be bad. I like her, just didn't like the Watchmen. Yeah, I didn't like the Watchmen series either. I dig her as an actress. I was just surprised that she's actually directing it. I didn't know she directed anything. So I don't know if this is a directorial debut or if she's directed something else before. It was just kind of surprising. Normally, you have an actor going into directing. They kind of, especially an actress as big as she is, they do a lot more fanfare of it. This one was just kind of hidden away, tucked away. Like, oh yeah, by the way, she's doing this Image Comics adaptation, and she's going to be directing it. And it was like, kind of like no big deal. And that's why it was kind of shocking to me. I hope there's a Taboo season 2, but it's not looking likely. Standing from what I understand, it was really fucking expensive, like really prohibitively expensive. I think it was something in the neighborhood of $150 million. And you're not going to be producing a TV series for that kind of change. And also, he's busy. I'm sure Jonathan Pryce is busy. I mean, all the people involved are busy at this point. And that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I think it was 2017. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to do it. Funny you should mention that. Raymond says, you're saying that Carnage needs to be done right. He needs to be an R rating. Suicide Squad, that's going to be coming out with James Gunn's Suicide Squad, has just received an R rating. And we'll see how that goes. So I know there's been the whole talk about PG-13 R-rated, PG-13 R-rated regarding comics properties. And I agree with you. If you need some comic properties to be R-rated, you need some that can go into the PG-13. It depends on the comic source material, if you will. Venom definitely should be an R-rated movie. That way you can show the carnage, if you will. It's a fucking serial killer, for God's sake. Suicide Squad being an R-rated movie, I think we'll push that boundary and we'll find out once that happens. And once they see that you can actually make money off of that, maybe they'll relax a little bit, relax their sphincters just a little bit. Mr. Roboto says that Watchmen sequel is not so bad. No, to you. Yeah. Price exploded. Well. You're talking about Jonathan Pryce? Yeah. Let's see what else. If you like shrimp. I don't know what that means, but it was kind of funny. Got some good hot chocolate, by the way. I know it doesn't look right, but there's marshmallows in there and all kinds of stuff. That's why I have to kind of slurp sometimes, and I'm slurping right into the microphone because I'm classy that way. Margot Robbie says that she keeps bugging Warner Brothers executives all the time about wanting Poison Ivy to team up with her and Harley Quinn on the big screen. And by team up, you know what I mean. So yeah, to actually have romantic involvement, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm all for it. If I do like her version of Harley Quinn, she does a great job of it. She's good at it. I mean, yeah, I want to see a live action Poison Ivy. I want to see somebody like what we're getting off the animated Harley Quinn series, having that kind of interaction of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. That would be really kind of cool, to tell you the truth. And I'm trying to think of who would actually play a really good Poison Ivy to her Harley Quinn. And honestly, if you want to go the route that the animated show is going, I would go with Aubrey Plaza in that. And that would work. Or if you want to go with someone who's a little bit more, I don't know. I don't know who else I could get in that spot, who I would put in that spot. But yeah, that would be a tough one. That would be a tough one. But I could see Aubrey Plaza playing the straight man Poison Ivy to to Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. I think that would work. Well, that's just me. But she'd have to be a redhead. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. There's some things you just don't want to change out of characters, you know? AMC has greenlit the series Moonhaven, which is supposed to be about a utopian colony on the moon that may hold the key to preserving life on Earth, which supposedly is in peril on Earth. Yeah, it's on AMC. So AMC is where, you know, I used to think Sci-Fi Channel was where sci-fi went to die. No, it's AMC. AMC is where sci-fi goes to die. Yeah, it is. Sci-Fi Channel, on the other hand, they do take their chances every now and then with like Deadly Class and Happy, things like that. But yeah, AMC does not take any chances. And they just kill something good outright. Yeah. Well, of course, the Earth is always in peril, as it should be. Stanley says, should be a green actress, no horticultural appropriation. You didn't think I could say that word, did you? Ha. I almost couldn't, but hey. No, Anna Kendrick's a little too, I hate to say it, she's a little too whiny. Oh, you know, actually, Emma Stone would be a good Poison Ivy. Emma Stone would be a good Poison Ivy. Yeah. Mr. Roboto, AMC, yes, took a chance on Walking Dead, and then what they did was they homogenized it. And then they just built their entire cables, basically their entire cable channel off of Walking Dead. There really is nothing else on AMC other than Walking Dead. You've got 3 different Walking Dead series that are going on right now, and everything else is just kind of I mean, there's a new series out there with Dominic Purcell, not Dominic Purcell. Fuck, the guy who played Preacher. And it's set in the 1960s and it's a spy flick and all that stuff. And I thought about doing the 7-day subscription trial just to watch the first 4 episodes. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to wait till the whole season drops. Then I'll do the trial subscription, watch the season, and then dump the trial subscription because AMC just isn't worth it. I don't know if Emily Blunt would be a good, and plus she doesn't like superhero movies, supposedly, Raymond. So supposedly Emily Blunt has said there's a glut of superhero movies out in the market. So the rumor is that she's been cast already as Sue Storm, and of course her husband has been cast as Mr. Fantastic. And she says, no, that's not true. We haven't received any phone calls. And she says, and besides that, you know, I'm tired of superhero movies, is what she says. There's too many of them out there. They're TV shows, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, actually, there's a lot more cop procedural shows, than there are superhero shows and movies out there. I mean, you got CSI Miami, CSI Tokyo, CSI Antarctica, CSI Fairbanks. You got CSI Buenos Aires, Buena Vida, you know, CSI Sri Lanka, CSI Miami, and you know, it's just too many CSIs that are out there at the moment. A lot more so than you do have superhero shows. Dante says AMC has Better Call Saul and that Washington Spy show that was pretty good. Well, you mean the one that they canceled, Dante S? And isn't Better Call Saul, isn't that ending too? So what else do they have? See what I'm talking about? Oh, that's right. They've got a 4th A Walking Dead show they're actually promoting now. So yeah. The Walking Dead should have never left the farm. Dude. No. Enola Holmes 2 has been greenlit by Netflix, of course, and Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown are returning. Now, hopefully, Millie Bobby Brown is taking some acting lessons between here and then. Because God, if you want to see some really bad acting, watch that first Enola Holmes. It's horribly bad acting on her part. I mean, really horribly bad acting. Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm interested in seeing Henry Cavill as Holmes, only if they are actually going to show him more than what was he in there, like 15 minutes, something like that. I want more of Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes. Raymond says, "Have you guys even seen how good the Negan episode was?" What do you mean, the one where he bashed in the heads? I saw that, and I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. And by the way, I have read pretty much the entire Walking Dead series. I think there's only the last 3 volumes that I need to go through, because of course the comic has ended. And the series, I think I was the on AMC. I think I watched up to season 9 or season 8, possibly, which isn't that far. I mean, season 10 is the one that's on right now, or the back half of season 10. And oh, his backstory. No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, it's kind of like Supernatural for me, quite honestly. I was really into Supernatural. I really loved it. First 5 seasons were the wrap up of everything. That was what the initial run was. And then I watched afterwards, and I think I got up again to like season 9, and I was like, this is just getting boring, man. And then it went for like another 3 or 4 seasons after that. And damn, there's just a time where you actually need to stop a TV show and go out on top, you know? Not everyone could be a Simpsons where you just have shit that you can just keep running with all the time for 30 some odd years. What is it? They're on 35 years now, I think, is somewhere around there. Yeah. Oh, you read up to the end of the prison? Now, there's a lot more in there, Mr. Roboto. A lot more. Yeah. I mean, hell, we didn't even have Rick's hand get cut off or anything like that. Anyway, I digress. So the last thing I have here is Knives Out 2 has cast Dave Bautista, Ed Norton, Janelle Monáe, and Catherine Hahn. So Rian Johnson, of course, is packing his movie, and of course Daniel Craig is back as well. But he's packing his movie with stars again, kind of like he did for the first one. The first one was really kind of lackluster, as far as I'm concerned. I watched it, and I didn't see what the hype was about it. I mean, it was interesting. It was okay, but if I had paid money to see that in the theater, I would have been pissed. I mean, it was an okay to watch on streaming service. That's what it was. Nothing else. Nothing more than that. It wasn't something that was going to, life changing or made me see something differently in movies or whatever. Raymond says even The Simpsons is having trouble being The Simpsons. Yes, it is. Well, that's what happens when you have, only white actors and they're voicing a whole bunch of ethnic actors as well, or ethnic characters, I should say. Philip says the one bit of good news this slow month is Castlevania season 4 is out. Yeah, I know. I saw. Yeah, I actually talked about that. I want to say last week or maybe the week before. I don't remember. Excuse me, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I realized I watched season 3 and I must have just forgotten all about season 3 because I mean, it's not in my brain at all. I hope nobody ruins his Knives Out trilogy for him. Is he doing a trilogy? Is that what he's supposed to be doing, Stanley? Yeah. Supposedly he's still doing a Star Wars movie too. Highly doubtful, but yeah, yeah. I don't think it's going to be happening. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got going on. Like I said, uh, I got taxes coming up. Is what I've got going on in about an hour. So that was supposed to be a Last Jedi joke. Is that what it was supposed to be? Oh, got it. Got it. Okay, Stanley. I got it now. I just have a word of advice for you, Stanley. Don't give up the day job. Maybe it was the translation, you know? I'm sorry, man. Philip Demick says, I need weekly releases. Binge model doesn't work. Yeah, I know. Binge model doesn't work. I've been saying that for a while, and especially in a pandemic kind of situation, binge model does not work. And can I say I'm just pleasantly surprised by Disney Plus programming? So I've talked about it before. I'll say it again. The Mighty Ducks new series that they have with Emilio Estevez out there is actually a decent show. It's fun, and yes, I know it's made for kids and stuff like that, but it's actually a decent like family show if you want to watch it with a family kind of thing. Same thing with the John Stamos movie or show that's out there. Something Hoops. I can't remember what it's called now, but where he's a former college basketball coach who gets fired for throwing a chair at a ref. I mean, it hits the ref during a game, and everyone kind of blacklists him, and he has to go and coach basketball at a all girls school in La Jolla, California, because they're the only ones that'll take him. And he learns about life, love, and yeah, whatever. Actually, it's not a bad show. It's actually fairly decent. So if you're looking for some other stuff to watch and it's in your wheelhouse, go and watch something a little different. Raymond says, I know this isn't genre, but did you know the Pentagon admitted UFOs and aliens are real? Well, well, I'm glad they finally admitted it. They had it. I mean, they probably just released it because they knew no one was watching the news because of the pandemic. Stanley says, "Will Netflix ever change that release model?" They toyed with it, Stanley, briefly. There was and they did it in the weirdest way possible too. There was an obscure Korean series that they put out, and they did it as a weekly release. So they were releasing one episode a week, but they didn't announce anything about it. And I just found out about it because it happened to be in my feed of Netflix stuff. And I'm like, huh, what's this? And I watched the first episode. I'm like, all right. I think I watched the first two episodes. And I was like, all right, I'll see how it goes. Third episode. And I waited the next week. It came out, and I'm like, yeah, this is not worth watching weekly. This is a crappy series. I go put it on the binge model. Otherwise, I'm not gonna last. And I think they end up canceling that one too. So Dante S says, I recently discovered C on Apple TV. I was impressed. I know what it is, Dante S. I can't. One, I don't want to subscribe to another streaming service. That's why I don't even have Hulu either. It's just one more streaming service I'd have to keep track of. And two, the whole concept of everyone in the world being blind, and it's in the future. And then, of course, having the child being born that can see, and everyone's fighting over him. It just seemed very comical to me. It really did. I mean, Jason Momoa has been doing like shit tons of shows, man. I don't know where he finds the energy. I don't know if he cloned himself or what. But he was doing a lot of stuff there for a while. They're only unidentified because people don't carry around the official Starfleet recognition chart. Raymond K. Hess says, I really want to see Mythic Quest, but I also find it hard to pull the trigger on Apple TV. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, if you want to, put it out on like Amazon Prime or something like that as a season that I buy, or I can buy individual episodes, maybe I'll do it. Or if you give me the first episode free so I can see what it looks like, and then maybe buy the other episodes, sure. That's kind of the model I'm looking at right now because there is so much stuff out there and there's so much good stuff out there that I'm not going to pay to go and watch your shitty little streaming service that has one good show on there. Or in the case of Paramount Plus, no good shows on there. Thanks, Mr. Roboto. And yes, Manimal does need to return and reboot, and he only needs to change into three different things: a puma, a eagle or hawk, excuse me, and occasionally a dolphin if he gets near water. Those are the three things. Nothing else. Stanley says it's Apple people closing. Yeah, it is a closed environment. I know, and it's never going to change. It really isn't. So it's not worth trying to change them. Same reason why I don't own Apple products. They're when you actually build into your hardware to be obsolete within what is it, 3 years, 4 years, something like that, and it's actually hardwired in so that your system cannot update to the latest OS. No, then you should be selling that for $50 then, or have it on a monthly subscription plan, and that way I can turn it in when I don't like it anymore and get a new one. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, for budget reasons, Mr. Roboto, yes, he can turn into a pigeon and a dog and a cat, yes. And maybe a goldfish, if budget allows. Yeah. When is the next season of Love, Sex, and Robots out? It's out right now, Philip. It actually came out yesterday. That's right. It actually came out yesterday. Season 2. As a matter of fact, that's going to be the subject of next week's Is It Worth My Time? Raymond says, I also dislike Apple, but as a musician, they are the best in town with their stuff. Yeah. And the same thing like for editing, they were the best thing in town with Final Cut Pro, and then they killed Final Cut Pro. And everyone's like, yep, don't need Apple anymore. Thanks. Bye. Yeah. They keep trying to say that, oh, yeah, we're the best there is. And it's like, no, 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 no. My Microsoft Surface has been doing adequately well. And plus, it turns into a tablet and it has a touch screen. And I can do far more better things with it than I could ever do with an Apple. So, yeah. Anyway, on that Apple, anti-Apple kick there. Thanks, Pen. I wasn't going there as of yet, but I was close. Because, yeah, I'm going to have to leave here fairly shortly. It's only a matter of time for Manimal. I don't know, man. I don't think there's enough dump trucks full of coke to blow up executives' ass at WB that'll actually get that greenlit. Although I could be wrong. Maybe they're making a whole bunch more down in Colombia that I don't know about. Excuse me. Sorry, my sinuses are just killing me right now. I don't know what's going on. It's changing the weather. Something like that. Yeah, we went from like 90-degree days to all of a sudden like 60-degree days in like overnight. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I should probably let you guys go. What else do I have going on the rest of this week? Well, funny you should ask. Tomorrow is going to be the season finale of The Nevers. That's right. The season finale of The Nevers is tomorrow. Monday, I'm going to be off. Tuesday is a new episode of Is It Worth My Time? And as I mentioned before, it's going to be Love, Death, and Robots, which is going to be on season 2, by the way, of Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. I'll be talking about that season. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be off because Thursday I'm going to Disneyland. That's right, I'm going to Disneyland. But I'll be back in time for Friday for Star Wars The Bad Batch. And then, of course, we roll back around to Saturday with Saturday Morning Blast stuff, where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about, we talk about it. Yeah. No, Mr. Roboto, bringing a dog, you can't bring a dog to Disneyland. You can if you're a fucking asshole, and then you have they do have a doggy daycare there, but the stipulation, I actually read about this. Not that I was actually actively looking at this, but the stipulation is you have to go back every 2 hours. You are responsible for giving your dog water and food. And if you do not, they will call, yeah, the authorities on you. So, yeah, um, it's not worth it. Leave your dog at home, man. Or better yet, set him up in a, B&B, or, what I'm doing, a pet hotel, getting her boarded. She has her own room. She has a little TV in there too, and 24-hour care, all that kind of good stuff. So she gets everything. Favorite short from season one? Season one of what? Love, Death, and Robots. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, I would have to say it's the robots that are doing the tour, and the cat ends up being the one at the end there. That one. I'd have to say that one's my favorite. Omega. Yeah, you know what? Everyone, it's funny you mentioned that, Stanley. I was going to mention that yesterday. So everyone else calls her Omega, and then she calls herself Omega, which I understand is the European way of saying Omega. Yeah, the rest of the world calls it Omega. For some reason, Europe likes to call it Omega. And I always used to be confused by this because, of course, there's the Omega watch, which is Omega. Yeah. And yes, the Kiwi accent. I understand where it's coming from. I know what it is, but Omega is supposed to be the European version, the European way of saying it. I've never heard Aussies call it Omega. I've always heard Omega from them. Of course, it has the own inflection, the Aussie inflection, which I'm not going to do. But I've never heard Omega coming from them. Yeah. I liked a lot of the season one shorts. The Werefox stood out. And by the way, thank you guys for the super chats. By the way, it's very cool of you. Thank you. Yes, I know I don't have the tier set up yet on the Patreon page. I've just been behind on shit. I really have. Work has been kicking my ass left and right, and so yeah. And then also taxes. I almost forgot about taxes. I actually made an appointment. That's what I've got going on in a little bit here. Is I'm meeting with a tax professional in order to do that. And yeah, hopefully all that stuff is taken care of at that point. So it's been running. It's kind of like the duck where you see them calm on the surface, but the little legs are kicking underneath really fast. Yeah, that's what's going on. Philippi Demings is the favorite of the mechs in the Texas style colony. That was actually fun. Yeah, yeah. I just like the banality, the weirdness of these robots going through a post-apocalyptic landscape, taking pictures, and you're just seeing all the different ways that people have either died or killed themselves because of the AI uprising, and it's just like, fuck. I mean, it's stark, brutal, and funny all at the same time. And then to have the kicker being the cat at the end, it just makes me laugh. Yeah. I mean, they're all really good for the most part. It really reminded me, though, like I said, and I'm going to sneeze here. Oh my God. Okay. It really reminded me of Liquid Television. Oh, sorry about that. Ooh, I sneezed so hard I knocked my headphones off. Ooh, yeah, I think there's just stuff in the air around here right now. Setting off sinuses. Ooh, man. There we go. Yeah, the pool cleaner episode was really good too. I'm interested to see what they're going to have for season 2. Yeah. I don't know about that. I've got other stuff planned, Mr. Roboto. Again, like I said, I just need to get down to it. Santa Trail says, you like the Hitler one? Do they have Aeon Flux on Blu-ray yet? I don't know. You know, Raymond, that would be an awesome. I think they did release it like way back when, but I don't know if it's ever been republished since then. A blessing from the Lord. Oh, don't get into Monty Python again. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to let you guys go because yes, I do need to get ready for this thing coming up here with the taxes. But thank you, everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Sneezes included. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you can, hit that like button and the share button while you're down there as well. And if you want to know when I'm going live, we can next hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, all the links to my social media are there, and my pages are there as well. So, thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for the Nevers season finale of the Nevers, or the half season finale. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you too can get a movie deal from Warner Brothers if you just have enough cocaine to blow up the asses of a WB exec. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Wear those masks no matter what the CDC says, and get those vaccine shots if you can. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.